Hello, welcome back to my channel and I'm your cybercoders. So in the last video, we have discussed a few terminologies in cybersecurity, right? HTTP, HTTPS, SSL, TLS, encryption, decryption, vulnerability, threat, risk, and so on. So in this video, we are coming with another topic that is OSI model, which is very important for your interview. And also, as a cybersecurity analyst, OSI model concept is very important. You have to understand in detail. Okay, so let's start our session. Before that, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel and also enable the notification bell. One second, let me start the presentation. Okay. So, OSI model. OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. It's a conceptual framework which is used to understand and to describe how different networking protocols and technologies interact with each other. It consists of 7 layers, and each layer is responsible for specific function and task in the process of transmitting data over the network. So in this video, we are going to explain each layer with an example of sending an email. Okay, so the first layer is physical layer. The physical layer deals with the physical transmission of data over the network medium. It defines the electrical, mechanical, and procedural standard for transmitting data signals. For example, when you send an email, the physical layer involves converting the digital data of the email message into electrical signals in the case of wired network or into radio waves in the case of wireless network to transmit over the network medium such as Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi. And the second layer is data link layer DLL. Data link layer is responsible for node to node communication. It provides error detection and correction to ensure reliable data transmission between adjacent network nodes. For example, in an email, the data link layer ensures that the data packets from your computer are properly formatted and addressed before being transmitted over the physical medium. It also handles any errors that may occur during transmission, such as packet loss or corruption. And the third one is network layer. It is responsible for logical addressing and routing of data packets between different networks. Data link layer is node to node delivery, and network layer is routing the data packets between different network. Okay, so it determines the optimal path for data transmission and ensure that the packets are delivered to their intended destination. For example, when you send an email, the network layer is responsible for determining the best route for your email message to reach the destination server. It uses the Internet Protocol, to route the data packets across the different network until they reach the recipient email server. And the fourth one is transport layer. It provides end-to-end communication between the sender and the receiver. It ensures the reliable and orderly delivery of the data packets and handles any error or congestion control. For example, in sending an email, the transport layer divides the email message into smaller packets and add sequence number to them. It also establishes a connection with the recipient email server using the protocols like TCP to ensure that all the packets are received in the correct order and to retransmit any lost packet if necessary. And the fifth one is session layer. It establishes, manages, and terminates the communication session between the application. It handles synchronization, checkpointing, and recovery of the data exchange. For example, in sending an email, the session layer establishes session between your email client and the SMTP server of the email provider. It manages the communication session, including authentication, data transfer, and termination of the session once the email is sent. Sixth one is presentation layer. This layer is responsible for data translation, encryption, and compression. It ensures that the data exchange between application is in a format that the recipient application can understand. For example, When you send an email, the presentation layer may encode the email message in ASCII or Unicode format for the compatibility with the different email clients and operating system. And it also may encrypt the email message to ensure the confidentiality during the transmission. And the last one is the application layer. Application layer provides network services directly to the end users and the application process. It includes the protocol for specific applications such as email, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, and also for web browsing, HTTP, and also for file transferring, FTP. For example, yeah, sending an email involves the application layer protocols like SMTP, which is responsible for sending outgoing email messages from your email client to the recipient email server. Additionally, protocols like IMAP, POP3 are used for the email clients to retrieve incoming emails from the server. So, overall, the OSI model provides a structured approach to understanding the different layers involved in the network communication, and each plays a specific role in transmitting data over a network. When sending an email, the data passes through each layer of the OSI model, from the physical transmission of signals to the application layer protocol, which is responsible for the email communication. And in each layer, sorry, and in each layer, the data format is different. Okay, so in the one second, yeah, in the physical layer, the data format is we can call it as PDU, protocol data unit. Data format is bits, and in the data link layer, it become frames, and in the network layer, it became packets, and in the transport layer, it's known as segment. PDU is segment, and in the session layer, presentation layer, and application layer, the PDU is data. Bits, frames, packets, segments, and data. And each layer have different protocols, and each layer uses different devices, and each layers have different functions. Okay, so I'll explain again once more with an example of an email. In application layer, the sender uses an application like Outlook or Gmail to compose and send email. And in the presentation layer, the email is encoded, encrypted, and compressed. And in the session layer, the sending server initiates a connection with the receiving server. And after that, the entire email flow is done error free and receiving acknowledgements. And in network layer, each packet will be routed from sender email server to recipient email server. And DLL, data link layer, the node to node transmission happens using next hop's MAC address. And in the physical layer, all data is transmitted as a bit through cables or wireless signals. And once the recipient side, the data moves from cable to user machine, where the presentation layer will take care of decoding, decrypting, decompressing of the data. Finally, the Gmail or Outlook application will display the message to the recipient. So I hope you understood the concept of OSI model, and that's all for this video. Thank you. Have a nice day. In the next video, we will come up with another important topics. Bye. Have a nice day.